Hi, guys. It's so good to be back and have a chance to talk with you again. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen. It means a lot to me to get a chance to speak to you in this way, even when we're not able to see each other face to face. So thank you for tuning in. It's an awesome opportunity to talk with you. Thanks to all of you that came out to day camp on Wednesday. It was a super great time. It was fun to see everybody, do some games together, and be outside and learn a little bit from the chicken. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you, I hope, on Sunday. I missed you guys this Sunday because I had to take my oldest daughter, Emma Jo, back to her college in Kentucky. So I was driving her down there. So if you were here on Sunday at the services outside, I'm sorry I missed you. But I will be here this week, and hopefully I'll get to see some of you then. So I have some great news. We are going to be opening up and having indoor services soon on August the 23rd. We're going to have a service at 8, a service at 9:30, and a service at 11 o'clock. We're going to have children's ministry in 2 of those services. So we're going to have children's ministry at the 9:30 service and at the 11. So we'll get to begin, for many of you, hopefully, we'll get to begin to meet again face to face. And I have Treehouse together again. I know I was talking to Jessica, Miss Jessica this week, and she's super excited as well about you guys coming back and being able to teach again face to face. So really looking forward to that in just a few weeks. So we'll be able to see each other soon. So until then, we're continuing our series on Proverbs. So this is what I want you to do. Before I start, I want you to take a second and talk with whoever you're watching this video with. If it's mom or dad or grandma and grandpa or aunt or uncle or a friend, take a second and talk to them about what a proverb is. See if you can remember what we said the last couple of weeks a proverb is. All right, were you able to remember? I hope so. A proverb is a short statement. They're short because that makes them easy to remember, to help us make decisions that lead to a good life. Right, let me say that again. Proverbs are short statements that help us make decisions that lead to a good life. And we've talked about a couple of those in the last few weeks. And we're going to just continue that today. We're going to talk about another one of those statements. So our proverb today is from Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. So this is what I want you to do, the same as last week. I want you to take a second with whoever you're watching the video with, stop the video, and find a Bible, and look up Proverbs 3, verse 27, and read that together. And take just a second to talk about what you think that proverb means. All right? Go ahead and do that now. Seriously. Go ahead. All right, well, hopefully you guys took a second to look that up and talk about it. I'm going to read it to you now. In my Bible, Proverbs 3:27 says, "Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to help them." So this is really about being helpful, isn't it? The proverb is telling us that if we want to enjoy the best life possible, we should help people around us when we're able to. Sometimes you can't help. Sometimes there's situations that people are in or problems that they have, and there's just really no way you can help. But sometimes you can, and we should be happy to do the things that we can. I have a little story about this. My daughter, Josie, loves to help, but she always wants to help in certain ways. And sometimes we have a problem because the way she wants to help is a way she can't. So like she'll want to help with supper. And I tell her that she can get the stuff out of the refrigerator to help prepare supper. But she wants to use the stove. Well, Josie's not old enough to use the stove yet, so she can't help in that way. And so sometimes she's disappointed because she can't do that. We have to learn to help when we can in the ways that we can, and not to get frustrated about things that we can't help. So I'm going to read a story today about an otter. His name is Otter B. And this story is all about being helpful in the ways that you can. And hopefully you guys, when you listen to the story, it'll help you to think of some ways that you could be helpful in your homes, especially. Otter B is going to be helpful in his home. So listen closely and think about while you listen what are some of the ways that Otter B is helpful? And what are some of the ways that you could be helpful in your home as well? All right. So this is Otter Be Helpful, and it's by Pamela Kennedy and Ann Kennedy Brady. Otter B watched raindrops make little rivers down the windows. Rain pitter-pattered in puddles outside. He loved sliding and splashing in the water, but today the weather was cold. He decided to play indoors instead. Otter B dumped out his blocks and built a pretend forest with tall trees and a winding creek. Then he drew pictures of all his friends. After that, he made a tent with a blanket and piled up a bunch of pillows like a nest. He crawled inside and read books to his stuffed animals. "Goodness," said Mama. "Grammy and Papa are coming for lunch, and this place is a mess." Otter B peeked out from his tent. Books and blocks, paper and crayons, blankets and stuffed animals covered the floor. He looked up at Mama with big eyes. "I can help put your books away," she offered. Otter B scrambled over to his block forest. "I'll cut down my forest and stack the blocks back in the bin. Let's make it a game." Mama and Otter B raced to see who could finish first. Then they lined up the stuffed animals from the tallest to the smallest. They folded the blanket together and Otter B put it back on the chair. Then they had a pillow fight. "That was fun," Otter B giggled. "Thanks for helping me." Mama looked at the clock. "Oh, I need to fix lunch. Maybe I can help you now," Otter B suggested. Mama gave Otter B 4 forks and 4 napkins. He placed a napkin next to everyone's plate, and then he put a fork on top of each napkin. "What's next?" he asked. Mama let Otter B stand on a stool and wash tiny tomatoes and baby carrots for a salad while she tore lettuce leaves into small pieces. They mixed all the vegetables together in a big bowl. Then Otter B poured some of his favorite fishy crackers in a basket. "I know another way I can help," said Otter B. He tore a sheet of paper into 4 pieces. He colored 1 pink, 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 brown. Then he put each one by a plate. Ding dong! The doorbell rang. Grammy and Papa had arrived. "Come see the table," said Otter B as Mama invited them in. As he bounded around the table, Otter B pointed to the colored papers he'd made. "Papa, you sit at the brown place because that's the color of your favorite hat. Grammy, your place is pink because that's your favorite color. Mama, yours is green because you grow tasty things in the garden. And my place is blue because water is blue and I love it." They all sat down at their special places and started eating. "This salad is delicious," said Grammy. As Papa crunched into a cracker, he looked around and said, "The room is so neat and tidy. You two have been working hard this morning." Mama winked at Otter B. "Work is fun when you have a helper, right, Otter B?" Otter B nodded. His mouth was full of crackers. There's lots of work to do in every family. God says that helping out is best. It's how we Otter B. All right. So Otter B learned to be helpful in this story. What are some of the ways that Otter B helps? So take a second, talk with whoever's watching the video with you, and what are some of the ways that Otter B found that he could be helpful? You can pause the video to talk about it. Okay, well, hopefully you came up with some of those. Yeah, he helped his mom clean up all the toys from where he'd been playing, and then he helped her get the lunch ready for when Grammy and Papa came, right? He, let's see, I don't know if I remember what he did. He washed the tomatoes and baby carrots for the salad. He put the forks and the napkins on the table. He helped set the table. And then he made some really special place mats to mark the places that all the dinner guests were going to sit when they came for lunch, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. Notice that Otterby didn't cook the meal, did he? No, he helped in some small ways, but he didn't cook the meal. You notice that he didn't carry the salad in and set it at the table. There were a lot of jobs he didn't do. And probably the reason he didn't do all those jobs is because they were jobs that he wasn't old enough or able to do yet. His mom probably did those jobs, and that's okay, because Otterby helped out in the ways that he could, and that's what we need to do. We should look for opportunities around us to help in the ways that we can. Don't get frustrated about things that we can't help, but look for ways that we can help and help out in those ways, even if they're small. And when we're young, often the ways we can help are small, right? So this is what I want you to do. I'm going to pray with you, and afterwards, I want you to take just a second and talk with whoever you're watching the video with about some ways that you can help, some ways maybe that you do help, maybe some new ways that you could help around the house. And remember from Proverbs 3:27, right? If we want to enjoy the best life possible, we should look for ways to help those around us, right? Okay, let me pray for you. Father, I want to thank you that you've given us families and friends and homes and workplaces and schools and all of the joy that we receive from those places and those relationships. Lord, I pray that you'll help us to be helpful. It is easy for us to spend our time thinking about what we want and what's best for us and what makes us feel happy, and not to pay attention to the needs of people around us. Lord, I pray that you'll help us to look for ways to be helpful. And Lord, I pray that you'll help us to be satisfied with helping in the ways that we can. Help us not to be too frustrated about problems that we can't fix or things that we can't do. Lord, help us to trust you to take care of those while we help with those things that we can. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in again, guys. Take a second and have some conversation about how you can help with your family now. All right. See you next week.